Hello, I'm John with Roadkill Incorporated, where you can buy a MacBook, sell a MacBook, ask me hardware-related repair questions, all kinds of stuff. That is at rdklinc.com, roadkillincorporated.com. And today I want to talk about cleaning laptops. I clean anywhere from 5 to 30 or 40 a day because I'm a refurbisher. So I've learned a few things, and it's clear that a lot of people don't know how to clean laptops because I get them and I see the job that they've done. So hopefully I can, improve the situation somewhat by putting out what I've learned. So I'll get right to it. So the most important thing in my cleaning process is probably this. This is Magic Eraser. That's the commercial name. The actual name, non-commercial name, is melamine foam. I think it's called melamine. I might have that wrong, but basically this. So if you kind of open this up, you can see there are just hundreds of them in there. I get this on eBay for about $20–30. They come from China. So if you're doing a lot of cleaning, you kind of want to go the China route, obviously because it's pretty cheap and you get a ton of it. The commercial Magic Erasers are technically better. It's a little more durable substance, and I think they're a little bigger, but you're going to pay like $5 for 7 of them or something. So if you're cleaning laptops on a regular basis, you want to go the China route. So what this is, it's interesting. When I first started using it, I thought, wow, this works so well, there must be some like nasty chemical in here. But it's actually not that. It's the molecular structure of the stuff. It just, the microscopic little particles of it, or whatever you want to call it, they just have some sort of like inherent scooping mechanism, so that when you move it, it just lifts automatically. So it's a really incredible substance, and it deserves that name, Magic Eraser, definitely. So there's Magic Eraser. I use that for cleaning everything on laptops, basically. Well, not everything, but pretty much the majority of the job of cleaning a laptop. I use that in conjunction with 91% rubbing alcohol. You basically, put some of this on the Magic Eraser, and then you scrub. The two together work really, really, really well. Now, it's important that you get 91%. It's 91% alcohol, 9% water. There's a lot of 70% alcohol out there. A lot of the time you'll go to the drugstore or wherever, Target, and they'll be out of the 90% and a lot of 70%. 70% is 30% water, though. You don't want to be putting a substance that's 30% water on your computers. If you think about it, if you have a tablespoon of it and you put that on your computer, a teaspoon of water is in basically a tablespoon of rubbing alcohol. So always use 91%. It's much more effective. The solution is that much closer to pure rubbing alcohol. So don't mess with the 70%. So these two together, and then I use these sort of shop rags for wiping. These are actually, I got these on eBay for like $20. Like I got this, this giant wad of them for like $20. I don't like these though. They're kind of like a mesh substance and they're not very absorbent. I think Costco sells a much better one that sort of soaks up the gunk. But eventually you end up throwing these away because they get so messed up that any amount of washing could not really help. So these three guys together, scrubbing the laptop with this soaked in alcohol, and then you've got these rags. And then what else? So the screen. The screen requires a specific process. I use Windex or just glass cleaner, stuff like this, generic. You don't need anything special for the screen. And very important, you don't want to touch the screen with any of this stuff or alcohol. You want to use these sort of, what do you call them? soft, for I can't think of the real word, but these soft towels, these soft paper towels, they do not scratch the screen. That's very important. You want to find some towels that, of course I can't think of the word now, I'm doing the video, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Stuff that does not scratch. Non-abrasive, I think that's the word. So you want to use Windex, glass cleaner, and a non-abrasive towel like this. Like I said, you can get them in bulk at Costco. Beyond that, you want to use razor blades, just standard old razor blades, really great to scrape off stickers, things like that. And yeah, that's about it, and I'll get started. Yeah, so this is what magic erasers start to look like. Eventually they look like a black wad of gunk. And the funny thing is that the cleaning property does not go away the more you use it. So once it's down to that black wad, you can still move it like this and it still works perfectly fine. So there's no reason to throw it away once it starts getting a little strange looking. And I would say too, before I start, I'm going to clean a couple laptops, and you can clean about 15 laptops with a magic eraser. But one thing I want to say is that a lot of people use like nail polish remover, they use Goo Gone, they use all these super toxic substances that basically like rot your brain. Like any of those things, 30 seconds after I start using them, I get a headache, and I think all that stuff is worthless. I think you should not use any of those kinds of toxic substances. It's just not worth it, especially because this stuff works really well. You don't want to suffer brain damage and headaches because of those horrible substances. Just use alcohol. It's relatively safe if the room is well ventilated. And you don't need anything else. You don't need any of that really toxic cleaning crap that's out there. So anyway, I'll get started. So here we have an aluminum MacBook Pro. It's got some stickers. First thing I would do with stickers is, I'll peel off what I can. So the thing with a razor is that it needs to be flush against the machine. You don't want to gouge like that. So it's just got to be exactly flush with the machine. You can remove a sticker like this, but you don't want to force it. You don't want to push it too hard. So I'm not going to take all that sticker off because I want to show you what it looks like. Geez, can you see? I think there's a glare. Okay, that's better. I want you to see what the other ways of doing this look like. So what I'll generally do is I'll pour some alcohol on here, and then I'll let that soak in while I'm working on the other side of the laptop. And on the other side of the laptop, I will, actually the light is... Yeah, so basically you just clean like this. Use your rag. The bottom of this laptop is pretty scratched up, so there's no fixing that. Then I clean around the edges. Go all the way around. Try not to get liquid into the optical drive slot because it will soak into the fabric in there, and then that fabric will harden, and then it's hard to get a disc in or out. So be very careful about that. So go along the four edges of the laptop, and now I'll go back to the top, and it's been soaking here for a while. So now these pieces of tape should come off pretty easily. So just kind of go like that. And there's still some residue there. but we'll take that off with the magic eraser. All right. So now we'll use the magic eraser that's soaked in alcohol, and we will just scrub it. Let's see here. There we go. It's a little better. And it just comes right off. If it's a really thick sticker, or there are lots of stickers, you can do it in multiple applications, you know, put more alcohol on it. So there you go, that's all done. Alcohol and magic eraser leave kind of a dusty, smeared residue, I guess you could say. So you can put some glass cleaner on there, and that tends to clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit shiny. Alright, so now we'll go inside the laptop, a couple little pieces of tape residue there. Get rid of those. Magic eraser. Now the keyboard is tricky. You don't want to spray liquid onto the keyboard, because liquid gets into the keyboard and it can fry parts of the keyboard, and then that's obviously not good. So what I do is I'll put a little bit of alcohol on the rag, and then I will go like that. The machine should be off. Obviously you don't want to power it on, because power plus liquid is not a good combination. There we go, that's looking good. And then the screen, like I mentioned before, we want to use the glass cleaner, and then also these towels. I can use one towel for 3 days, so dozens of laptops. I only use these towels on the screen, so I don't use them on the laptop. I don't gunk them up with other parts of the laptop. So what I do on a screen is just one blast of liquid, and you want to be careful to not let it drip into the bezel here, because if it gets to the bezel, it can get under there and it can totally damage the screen. You want to be careful with that. Just want to get deep into each corner. Don't want dust or whatever to be in the corners. And I can't stress enough that you need these particular blue sheets, because if you use something that's abrasive, you will totally scratch up the screen. And that's that. These are just demonstration laptops. I can't really power them on and show you how nice and clean it is, but it is very nice. Sometimes the bezel will have some gunk in it. You can use the magic eraser, just kind of go like this. Again, don't drip alcohol into the bezel, but you can go like that, and then you can clean it up. And so, hey, that's a pretty nice laptop, as clean as it's going to get. It's got a lot of scratches and stuff on the underside, but can't fix that. So here's a really nasty one. You would look at this and say, whoa, that's basically trash, right? It just looks horrible. It's all nasty inside. So we'll clean this one up. Like before, what I generally do, put a good amount of alcohol on there, just kind of swish it around, let it soak in. And while that is soaking in, I will work on the other side. Now often what I'll do when I've got some really dirty stuff is I'll use a I mentioned before, like that sort of black wad of nasty magic eraser. I'll use that for the really dirty stuff so that I don't gunk up a nice clean one. And then I'll use the clean one to do sort of finishing. So this is what Magic Eraser does. See how bad that is? Well, here we go. And this is a Magic Eraser that's already been used, to clean 10 different machines. And it's falling apart, of course. Anytime you record a video doing something, things don't go quite as you would hope they would look. But that's basically it. And there you go, like clean as, it's almost as if it was a new lower casing. So now I'll go around the edges. I'll use the newer Magic Eraser here. It's best if you're methodical about how you do this, just have a specific process so you don't forget any given part. There's some tape here. So what you can do with the tape is use your razor. I don't know how well this is coming across, and just sort of cut the tape off. Again, you want the razor to be flush against the surface. Alright, tape is gone. There's still tape residue there, so I will use the Magic Eraser. Works wonders on that. There we go, and it's just like there was never tape. So I'll keep going along here. Alright, so I've got all four sides. Now we'll tackle this thing, this sort of nasty top of the machine. I'm going to go at it with a razor here, just to eliminate the biggest amount of gunk. And again, you just want it flush with the surface so that it doesn't gouge it. And you don't have to use a razor. Like if you have a really nice machine, you can just go at it with Magic Eraser, and it'll take a little time, but you can basically cut through anything with just additional effort. So if you're concerned about razors, just avoid them. So look at how well this just gets rid of all the crap. Machines that look like they're just total trash turn into machines that look like they're brand new. And I'm not gonna do the finer details on it just to save time, but you get the idea. You saw what it looked like before. Basically now it's brand new by comparison. And I'll just work on the inside a little bit. Again, really dirty, nasty looking machine. Magic Eraser on the edges. Want to be careful with the keyboard. Can't tell you how many keyboards I've seen get fried because there's too much liquid in them. Put some alcohol on the cloth. Want to avoid powering on the machine by accident while you're doing this. Happens quite a bit. Alright, so the bezel is pretty dirty on this one, so I'll just go along the bezel. It's good to do the bezel first before you do the screen itself. That way you don't get the screen dirty if you do the screen first and then the bezel. Alright, so now the screen, one blast, the blue sheet. Don't get it into the bezel on the bottom, mostly is where you're concerned about that. Ooh. Again, just a demonstration computer. It's kind of falling apart as I do this. It's not a finished machine. So yeah, so that's it. So pretty much nice clean machine. What is that? Oh, it's just some tape. It's that tape I took off the side. So you want to kind of review it when you're done, because sometimes liquid from one part of the process gets, you know, onto the bottom or the top or whatever. But you can see, very nice looking computer that looked like it was ready for the trash before is now pretty much 95% of what it ever was. So anyway, I hope that was useful. Very simple, but it's information that most people don't know. So I hope this will help you in your cleaning process, and that's about it. Thanks.